What if I told you that you could automate like 80% of your work and you didn't have to write a single line of code? Well, today we're going to dive into a tool called n8n that makes that possible. We're going to walk through a super clear, step-by-step path to help you master it, no matter where you're starting from. Let's jump in.
Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just about saving a couple of minutes here and there. We're talking about a skill that can totally reshape your career, open up brand new opportunities, and give you the power to build incredibly valuable systems all on your own. That's the potential we're unlocking today.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the why, the massive opportunity in automation right now. Then we'll get into the what and the how, what n8 actually is, how it thinks, and a clear path for you to learn it. And finally, we'll show you how to go from beginner to pro. Okay, let's kick things off with the big picture. Why on earth should you spend your time learning n8n? Well, the simple answer is that the demand for people with automation skills is absolutely exploded.
I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Every single business, from a tiny startup to a massive corporation, is looking for an edge. They all want to work smarter, cut out the boring, repetitive tasks, and free up their teams to focus on the stuff that actually matters. And automation is the key to all of it.
And when that demand goes up, what happens? New jobs pop up. We're talking about whole new career paths, like becoming an automation specialist or an AI workflow builder. People who get good at this stuff are becoming highly paid freelancers and consultants, literally getting paid to solve huge problems for businesses.
And here's the real kicker, the thing that makes this so different. You hear automation and your brain probably jumps to coding and computer science degree, right? Nope. With a tool like n8n, that wall is just gone. This is a skill you can pick up and start using right away without writing a single line of code. Okay, so that covers the why. Now let's dig into the what. What exactly is this tool n8n that we keep talking about? So at its heart, n8n is basically a visual canvas for all your apps. Think of it like digital plumbing or maybe digital Legos. It lets you visually connect all the different services you use and make them talk to each other in any way you can dream up.
Now, you've probably heard of Zapier, right? Well, think of n8n as its super-powered, more flexible, and way cheaper cousin. Zapier is great for simple stuff, but n8n gives you so much more control. And because it's open source, you can even host it yourself for free. That is a huge game changer.
And this is where it gets really fun. Yeah, you can do this simple stuff like sending emails or syncing your spreadsheets, but you can also think so much bigger. Imagine building a workflow that uses ChatGPT to automatically write social media posts for you, or a system that tracks your competitors' prices and sends you an alert. It's not just about connecting app A to app B. It's about creating brand new powers for yourself or your company. How cool is that?
Okay, before you can build all that cool stuff, you gotta understand the one fundamental secret that powers every single automation out there. Once this clicks for you, everything else just falls into place. It all boils down to just 3 simple pieces. Every single workflow, I don't care how complicated it looks, is made of these. First, you've got a trigger. That's what kicks things off. Then you have an action, which is the thing that happens. And finally, you have conditions, which is just a fancy way of saying if this, then that logic. Let's make this super clear. Picture a contact form on a website. The trigger is someone submits a new form. The first action could be take that info and save it to a Google Sheet. The second action could be send a confirmation email back to them. See? Trigger, action, action. That's really all there is to it. All right, you get the opportunity, you get the basic logic. Now let's get practical. How do you actually get started and what in the world should you focus on first? This is your roadmap. First things first, you gotta get n8n running. The absolute easiest way is the paid cloud version. It's just click and go, perfect for beginners. The next best thing is to install it right on your own computer, which is totally free. I'd really recommend sticking to one of those two. Don't worry about the advanced stuff for now. Okay, listen up because this is key. Don't try to learn all the hundreds of building blocks or nodes at once. You'll just get overwhelmed. Instead, just focus on mastering this small set. The webhook and HTTP request nodes let you connect to literally anything on the internet. The set, merge, and if nodes are your secret weapons for shaping data and making your workflow smart. Honestly, if you master just these few, you can build almost anything. And, you can read about how to swim all day, but you won't actually learn until you jump in the pool. It's the exact same thing here. The theory only makes sense once you start building real things, even if they're small and simple at first. So where do you start? Here's some awesome first projects. Try building that contact form flow we just talked about. Or what about one that takes a new lead, puts it in your CRM, and then pings you a WhatsApp message? Every project you build teaches you something new and essential.
Okay, once you're feeling good about building those basic workflows, it's time to level up. The real key to unlocking the full, unlimited power of n8n is getting comfortable with something called APIs.
I know, API sounds super technical and scary, right? But I promise you, you only need to get your head around 4 simple ideas. First, an API is just a menu that an application offers so other apps can talk to it. That's it. Second, they talk in a simple language called JSON. Third, you use basic commands like get to ask for information or post to send information. And finally, you use authentication, which is just like a password, to prove you're allowed to use the menu. That's the entire puzzle, really. So you have the building blocks, you know how to level up, but what's this journey actually look like? Let's put a rough timeline on it and talk about where you can get help when you need it.
And you might be surprised how fast you can pick this up if you're consistent. Within your first week, you can totally have the basics down. Give it 2 or 3 weeks of practice, and you'll be building really solid, useful workflows. And honestly, within a month or 2, you could be good enough to tackle advanced projects or even start freelancing. It's all about consistency.
And you know what the best part is? You do not have to do this alone. There's this huge, friendly community out there. The official n8n docs and their YouTube channel are fantastic. You can find tons of examples on GitHub. And when you get stuck, and trust me, everyone gets stuck, the community forums and Discord are full of people who are happy to help you out. So let's just end on this one thought. This isn't really about robots taking jobs. It's about empowering people. But the reality is, people who learn how to use these tools are becoming way more productive and valuable than people who don't. The skill is learnable, the demand is off the charts, and the path is right here in front of you. So the only real question left is, which group are you going to be in?